I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'd like to talk about the transit of Jupiter. Now this is the one you've probably been waiting for because Jupiter is the great benefic, and every time we look at a chart, we want to know what houses Jupiter is transiting, because wherever Jupiter's transiting is going to bring opportunities, growth, advancement, wealth, all the good things of life. Jupiter's fun. Saturn's not so fun, but Jupiter's all about a good time and expansion. But sometimes you got to watch it because Jupiter can represent excess. And if we're always expanding, sometimes we got to learn how to consolidate and contract. That's where Saturn comes in. But we're going to focus on Jupiter's attributes and how it affects you and your life as it transits through your horoscope. So Jupiter as the great benefic, it's also a planet of spirituality and religion. Remember, it is the ruler of Pisces and Sagittarius. These are the two signs that are associated with religion and spirituality. But they can also be signs of excess, overdoing, overcompensating, overconfidence. Sometimes when Jupiter's there, you got to be more realistic because Jupiter can always deal with overdoing. But Jupiter is wealth, prosperity, and opportunities. So wherever it is, this is where it's going to bring to your life. So let's talk about if Jupiter, when it comes into your first house. When it comes into your first house, it's going to give a sense of well-being, of happiness, optimism. It's like you've just started a whole new life because it comes from the 12th house into your first house, and all of a sudden you have a revival. You're starting a whole new beginning. You feel like you just woke up from a dream, and all of a sudden your life is beginning. You're born again when Jupiter enters into the first house. But one of the things about the excess that I was talking about, Jupiter in the first house can sometimes make you gain weight because the first house is you, it's your physical body, and Jupiter expands. So sometimes there's an issue there. But overall, Jupiter in the first house does wonders for your sense of self-confidence, your happiness, your joy, optimism. People like to be around you because you're upbeat. You're going to see the world from a new vantage point with new beginnings and hope and happiness. So that's what Jupiter traditionally does for you in the first house. Now remember, when Jupiter's transiting the first house, it's also going to be casting an aspect to the 5th and the 9th. So this is going to activate the 5th house matters, which is your creativity, your mind, your intelligence, and possibly even children. The 5th house can open the heart as well, so it can be a time of dating, meeting new people. And as Jupiter's aspecting your 9th house, this is a time of travel, opening up new doors, maybe going and taking new classes, education, or that you're more involved spiritually. This is going to be with Jupiter casting its aspect, which is a trinal aspect, 5 and 9, to the 5th and the 9th house as well when it's in the first. So when Jupiter goes into your second house, this is the house of finances and money. And as Jupiter transits here, your financial situation improves. You have more money. Things expand in this area. So it can also deal with your speech. You talk more, you're more talkative, you're more jovial. So when Jupiter's here in your second house, it's also going to be casting its aspect to the 6th and the 10th house. The houses 2, 6, and 10 are all about finances, business, work, money. This is what Jupiter will do while it's in the second house. It activates all of a sudden your 6th and your 10th. So opportunities for your work, opportunities for your career, new job opportunities, opportunities when Jupiter's in the second. Therefore, you're going to be making more money. These are the Artha houses. These are the houses that deal with making money, making a living, providing in the materialistic world. 2, 6, and 10. When I look to the third house, when Jupiter goes into your third house, it's all about expanding in the way that you learn. Travel plans start. Opportunities to learn new things, maybe going back to school, new classes. You become closer to people in your life. Maybe more frequent visits with your brothers or sisters while it's in the third house. The third house deals with sales, and it deals with short distance travels. So you may be traveling more in pursuit for business, selling things, but your communication ability really steps up. You're able to speak, talk, write, connect to people more. Because when Jupiter is in your third house, it's also aspecting your 7th and your 11th house. These are the Kama houses. And this deals with relationships. So when Jupiter's in the third, since it's going to be aspecting the 7th, there's opportunities to meet people, new relationships, love, romance, as well as it will be aspecting the 11th house, which is friends, groups, and new people come into your life. This is all while Jupiter's in the third house, because it's going to be casting its trine to the 7th and the 11th when it's in the third. So when Jupiter transits into your 4th house, this is a time when your home, your family come together. This is a time when you're going to find opportunities to improve your house, maybe renovate. And even right before, when Jupiter is sometimes in your 3rd house, people move, because by the time it hits your 4th house, you're settling in. You're nesting in a new home, a new place. Many family gatherings come together in the house, and you're going to find relations with your mother or your entire family is closer, and there's definitely more events. So when Jupiter is in your 4th house, it's casting a trine to the 8th and the 12th, 5 and 9. These are the water houses relative to moksha. So many things come up from the past, because 4, 8, and 12, those houses deal with the past. So you're going to find memories, connections to people from your past. You will find that these are all relative, and they're going to surface. And with Jupiter's aspect to the 8th house, money could come to you through other people, either through marriage, because it is the 2nd from the 7th, your spouse's money, or possibly through inheritance, or through unearned means, such as taxes, such as winnings, such as insurance policies. This is what Jupiter's aspect to the 8th house can represent. And as it's aspecting the 12th house, you could find that there's going to be more instances where you reconnect with old friends, old people from your past that bring back good, positive memories. And possibly, with Jupiter's aspect to the 12th, pay attention to your dreams. The 12th house is all about dreams and our psychic experiences. Remember, these water houses deal with our psychic, beyond this world experiences, and Jupiter will activate this. But most of all, it's going to be more about family as it transits the 4th, and your home, getting your home the way you love it, the way you like it. So looking at the right home to feel settled in. As Jupiter transits into your 5th house, the 5th house is all about the mind, creativity. It's all about children, what we create. So the 5th house is also the house of our talents. And this could be the development of this. But don't forget, the 5th house deals with fun, entertainment. Jupiter here, you're going to be going to more sporting events, maybe theater, more opportunities to be involved in classes with art, anything to do with the arts, theater, painting, music, concerts, sporting events, all of these things are going to come about when Jupiter transits your 5th house. And if you're wanting to start a family or expand your family, Jupiter in the 5th does bring children. So as it's in the 5th, of course, it's aspecting the 9th and it's aspecting the 1st. So as it aspects the 9th, there's opportunities for travel. Don't forget though, the 5th house is also the house of courtship, falling in love, and dating. Not serious relationships, but dating, having fun. And as it aspects the 9th house, you may travel. You may even be more connected with your father, because the 9th house is the father in Vedic astrology. As it's aspecting the 1st house, this empowers you. This is where you feel more confident and you feel more secure as Jupiter aspects the 1st house, which represents you and your physical body. And Jupiter, as it aspects or is even in the 1st house, does represent health and a stronger constitution. So as Jupiter transits into your 6th house, this is an opportunity for you to get healthier. You're going to find more interest in how you eat, how you exercise, how you take care of yourself. You'll find it easier to kick those old habits that were impossible before, because Jupiter gives you that strength. When it's in the 6th house, you'll find you get along better with your coworkers, and it's a good time to adopt a pet. These are all 6th house matters. And as well, when it's in the 6th house, if you need help and you want to hire employees, this is the time. And remember, another thing about Jupiter is it stays in a sign for a full year. And as you count around the horoscope, you know that each year Jupiter will be in one house, one sign. So as it transits through all these houses, you realize that it takes 12 years for it to go through all 12 houses, all 12 signs. So if you're interested in reminiscing and finding out what did Jupiter do in that house before, go back 12 years ago. That will give you the indication of what happened before relative to what are the possibilities that could happen again. And you'll see all these things manifest that when Jupiter goes through each of these houses. So as Jupiter goes through your 7th house, this is the opportunity for serious love relationships. This is where it all comes together, in the 7th house. And it's also a time for business, because remember the 7th house is the 10th from the 10th house. So it's a good time for business partnerships and progress made business-wise. So as Jupiter's in the 7th house, opening the door for opportunities for serious relationships, it's also aspecting, by trinal aspect, the 7th, the 11th, and the 3rd. So this is friends, new groups, new organizations you will be a part of. And as that aspects the 3rd, there's travel, meeting new friends, people, and connecting to relatives, siblings. As Jupiter transits into the 8th house, this dredges up all the things from the past, but it can bring money from the past and from others when it transits your 8th house. Psychic awareness and abilities and premonitions will surface when Jupiter transits your 8th house. And you may be more acquainted with death. People around you could die. This could be a time of friends or people. It just makes you more aware of this. As Jupiter's in the 8th house, it's also aspecting the 12th and the 4th. These are the water moksha houses, meaning spiritual liberation from this world. So many awarenesses come when Jupiter goes through 4, 8, and 12. As Jupiter transits into the 9th house, this is a Dharma house. So the Dharma houses that represent spiritual inspiration when it transits the Dharma houses, which are 9, 1st house, and 5th house. So when Jupiter's in the 9th, it's aspecting those houses as well. So activating the 5th house, possibility for children coming into your life, dating, new possibilities with the mind and opening your life to fun. And it's aspecting the first house, bringing all of these activities to you. So 9, 1, and 5. Remember, when Jupiter transits the 9th house, you could have an opportunity to go on vacation, faraway places, or spiritual retreats, because the 9th house is spirituality. You could find that you become closer to your dad, because this is the 9th house is with the father. Furthermore, when Jupiter is in the 9th house, long distance travels, a connection to your spiritual truths come about. And if you're old enough, you may have grandchildren, because the 9th house is the 5th from the 5th. Therefore, your children's children. When Jupiter transits the 10th house, this is the time that you expand with your work. New opportunities come. You could get that promotion. You could get that new position. You could get a new job. Opportunities, accordance to your career, blossom and grow. Expansion. You become closer to your boss, or you become the boss with Jupiter in the 10th house. Or you could start that new business or company. One way or another, it will take off and do very well when Jupiter's transiting the 10th house. When it's in the 10th house, it's aspecting the 2nd house of money and the 6th house of work and employees and co-workers. So altogether, it brings about good things with career, work, and money when Jupiter's transiting the 10th house. When it's transiting the 11th house, new friends, new groups, special people come into your life. Influential people when Jupiter's in the 11th. And if you have an older sibling, you will become closer to them. You will have more connection. So Jupiter in the 11th, of course, is bringing together friends, groups, organizations, and gains financially. That's what the 11th house is, great gains. And as it's in the 11th, it's aspecting the 3rd and the 7th. Opening the door to new relations, either in love and romance or connections to family and siblings. So when Jupiter transits the last and final house, the 12th house, this is a time for reflection, review, and finishing up old projects that you've already started, because the 12th house is resolution. And it's also the house of retirement. So this could be the time you retire from that job so that you have a new freedom, because when Jupiter's in the 12th, you will travel over the water, go on a cruise, go on a ship, go overseas. There's something about long distance journeys when Jupiter is in the 12th house. And the 12th house is sleep. So you have very vivid dreams that give information for healing, because the 12th house and the 6th house are both houses for healing. And one thing I didn't make reference to is that when we're at whatever house Jupiter is in, it's always casting its light and rays to the opposing house. So those are the houses that will get the full effect of Jupiter's expansion, positive energy, and most of all, its goodness and spirituality. So when Jupiter's in the 12th house, many spiritual experiences occur. Meditation, revelations, connections to the divine. This is what Jupiter in the 12th house can bring. So now that we've covered Jupiter's transit through all the houses, you have a better understanding of what this great expansive planet can bring to you in your life and the opportunities. So if you would like to learn more of Vedic astrology, this is just the surface. You can go to my university, which takes you to the depths, which is University of Vedic Astrology.com. And if you would like a reading or to learn more about my work, you can go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Thank you.